This conference will now be recorded.
Shiva,
Yeah.
we yesterday when you were discussing about this topic, you said like this is a
This
right?
conference will now be recorded.
We have committed.
Commit intervals. Commit
Yeah.
interval. So don't we have this thing in the Snowflake or?
Yes, we do have.
We do have it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we do have. I'll cover that one as well.
Yeah.
Maybe in next 2 classes, after 2 classes.
Okay. I just wanted to know whether we have it or not.
Yeah, I'll cover everything, sir. No worries. Every question will be answered.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So yesterday we were discussing about the data loading part. Okay, and we have discussed we can do bulk loading and continuous loading as well through Snowflake. Okay, and after that we just started like what are the different types of stages we had. Okay, so basically in high level we have internal stages and external stages. So external stages are used to load the data from the clouds. Let's say you have your data in S3 buckets or Azure Blob or GCP bucket. If you want to load the data, you have to use external stages. So coming to internal stages, if you have data in local files, then you have to use internal stage. Again, in the internal, we have table stage, user stage, and named internal stage. Again, in the named internal stage, we have permanent and temporary, both. Okay, table stage is nothing but whenever you create a table in Snowflake, by default, Snowflake will try to create a table stage with a table name. Okay, user stage is nothing but whenever you create a user in Snowflake, for every user stage will be created in the Snowflake. Okay, and these two you cannot control. That means the control is not with you. That means you cannot create it and you cannot drop it and you cannot alter it. Okay, so these two can be managed by Snowflake only. So, but only the thing is you can load the data to these stages. That's it. Okay, and the next one is named stage. So where you can create, you can drop, you can alter, do whatever you want. You can share with others, do whatever you want with the named stage. Okay, so by default it will try to create the permanent one, and if you want to create the temporary one, you have to use the keyword temporary. Okay, so this is about the stages. So the main thing of temporary stages, once you create it, the scope of temporary stage is only 24 hours. After 24 hours, the stage will be purged automatically. Okay, so that is what we have discussed. And next one is, so how do you query the files from this stage? List or ls command, anything you can use. Okay, so those commands we got it from Linux. List @tilde means user stage. List @% symbol if you use means, that means you're trying to query table stage. So for named internal stage, stage name we have to use. And for external stage also, you have to use the same thing. List stage name. That is what we have seen yesterday. Okay, and after that we ran put command to load the data into the stage. Okay, now today what we'll discuss is we'll try to see some transformations in the stage level, and we'll try to load the data into the target table. So we just loaded the data into stage, that's it. So this part is done. So yesterday we have seen the architecture, right? Only this part is done up to here. Okay, after that we need to run the copy command to load the data into the target table. So this is mandatory. Okay, so without, so there is no direct way to load the data from the LFS to target table. So you have to go through the internal stage. The stage may be anything. It may be internal stage, it may be user stage, it may be table stage, it can be anything. But you have to load it into first stage, then after you have to load the data into target table. Okay, so let's try to do the same activity here. I think we have created yesterday. I did not save it. My system got shut down suddenly. So the commands are not saved here. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll try to repeat the same commands here. Okay. So what is the first command we need to use here? Use database name dot schema name, right? So my database name is sample underscore db. Okay. Dot test schema, test underscore schema. Okay. So I told you, right? Snowflake is not case sensitive language. You can write in uppercase or lowercase, except few keywords. Except a few keywords. Okay, and backend it is using the same database and schema. Yes, it is connected. Now, if you want to confirm the role, right, then you have to use this command. So select current underscore role. Okay, so just execute this command so that we can come to know what role it is using to execute the commands. Okay, sysadmin. This is the expected thing. Now after that, you start like running the queries. So what did we do? What is that stage we have created? So I think CSV stage we have created, right? So for that, I'm just running show stages just to know what stage I've created. So this will give you the list of stages in your database. So currently I have only one stage. So I wanted to see what are the files are there in this stage. What is the command? ls stage name, right? CSV underscore stage. This is the command you have to use to see the files in the stage location. Or list also you can use, no problem. Okay. Now you use any of the file and you try to do some transformations on top of it. Okay. So how to query the data from the stage location? Select $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8. Sorry, 8. Total 8 columns are there in my file. Okay, so I'm using from $1 to $8. So from where? From where do you want to query? From this stage. Okay, so let's say I'm trying to take this file. Okay, CSV stage HR emp1.csv.gz, and at the end you have to use file format as well, right? Okay, if you don't know file format what to use, just list that file formats whatever is available in your database. Show file formats. This is the command you have to use to see the list of file formats. Okay, so what did we create yesterday? CSV file format underscore 14. So just copy that one and use that one here. So how do you use that one? File underscore format, okay, equal to, this is the command, CSV underscore file underscore format underscore 14.
Is it not greater than? Equals to greater than?
Yes, sorry. Yes. You have to give greater than symbol and you have to put this in brackets. This is correct. Okay, just execute this. What happened here?
At the rate
is missing. Yes, exactly. Okay, just query this one. See what happens. It is trying to read all the columns from the table file. So except this first line, everything is reading. Okay, if you want, I can open this one. Where is this one? This is the one. Except this header part, everything is reading. So total, how many lines are there? Total, except this first line, 15 lines are there. 15 records are there in this file. So all 15 records it is trying to read. So 1 to 15. Okay. Now, can we do some transformations on top of it? Yes, of course, we can do. So let's say I don't want to display the entire designation here. I wanted to display only first 3 characters. Okay. Then what you can do is, if I want to display first 3 characters, what is the generic command that we have to use in SQL?
substring.
Huh?
Substring.
Substring, yes, exactly. Okay. So sub str. Okay. So bracket open. For third column only, right? We are trying to apply. So for third column only, I'm trying to do this activity. Okay. So put comma. From which character onwards you wanted to consider? From first character onwards. How many characters you want? 3 characters I want. Just close this one. That's it. That is enough. Okay. Just execute this one. substr, spell mistake here, substr. Yeah, just execute this. See what happened here. First 3 characters only we are getting here. Okay, now I want to take one more column by adding this. This is actually salary column. This is commission column. I wanted to have one derived column by adding these 2 columns. I want total salary from this data. Okay, how to do that? So this is 6th column. This is 7th column. What can I do here? $6 plus dollar. Letters are not clear. So just click on that. Just click on that usernames. I mean, participants list is there, right? Just click on that one. Hide everyone. Just click on hide everyone so that you will get big screen. Are you getting? Okay. Okay, I'll try to increase the font size here. Where is that? Somewhere you can see that font size as well. Okay, anyway, I'll check it later to check the font size. Okay. Now what I'm trying to say is you can have one derived column here. Okay, that is total salary. So if you add salary plus commission columns, you'll get total salary. Okay, I'm just trying to execute this. What happens? You see. See, you're getting that derived column as well. This is the one. See, the commission column is having null values. That is the reason why, even though we are having some salary here, you're getting null. So what you can do here, we can apply NVL condition, right? So NVL function we can use, right? So NVL of $7, 0. Okay, if it is having null value, try to replace that null value with the 0. Okay, so then you'll get the original salary here. So let me try to execute this. See what happened, you're getting salary properly here. Okay, so if you want to, okay, so whenever you see $1, $2, $3, $4 like this, doesn't look good for me. Okay, now what I wanted to do, I wanted to have some proper name for these columns. So if you want, you can take alias name as well. Okay, as total underscore salary. Okay, just execute this one. What happened? See, you're getting column name also properly here. You're getting column name as well. Okay, first column name. What is the first column indicates? Employee number, right? So I am just taking here as EMP number. Okay, just execute this one. See, employee number we are getting. So that means you can use alias names. You can use any SQL function on top of your staging query. Okay, and you can take alias name also here. What I can do is I'll just try to take here alias name as, let's say, A for this stage location, for this stage. Okay, now what I will do is I'll just use here A dot, just like a tables are here. Okay, just execute this one. Sorry, sir. A I'm not supposed to use here. Let me use it here at the end. Okay, just execute this. See, you're getting the data properly. I used here A dot $1. Okay, you can use A dot $2 as well. Even if you don't mention, no problem. See, $2 you're getting data properly. So what I'm trying to say here is you can do whatever you want before you load the data into the target table. You can apply any transformations on top of this, but you cannot use, okay, I'll tell you that where condition and all later. Okay, you can even, okay, we'll discuss that one later. Okay. So this is about the transformations and alias names and alias names for the columns.
Is it support
Okay.
all Oracle commands?
Yeah, similar to Oracle only. I told you right already. I mean, I mentioned in very first class, the SQL is quite similar to Oracle only. 90% of the queries matches.
Does the stages have the information schema? I mean, like, the metadata of it? Can we grab? Let's say suppose, let's say suppose the CSV. I mean, like the CSV stage. If I would like to know how many columns in it, can we get that information or no?
How many columns you want to do? No. That is not possible directly.
Okay.
That is not possible. So you have to look at the file and you have to understand how many columns are there and you have to use based on that one, and you have to use here $1, $2, $3 like that.
Okay.
So
And
directly it is not possible.
while loading the data from file to the stage, can we do it some kind of order thing? Like let's say suppose I wanted to have all the column names in row 1 and then load rest of them into this CSV stage.
Only column 1 and column 2 you wanted to load.
No, not column 1. Sorry, the first row is the header, right?
Yes.
So I wanted to insert the data in the same order how we received the file.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
We can do it. Okay.
That's what it is trying to read, right? See, in the file also we have first column is employee number. The same thing we are getting here, employee number only. Second column is employee name. The same thing we are getting here. It is trying to read in the same order.
No, not the column. Like in the first record, there is a header record.
Yes.
The first record in the file. So the second record is 7839 or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, it will read. It will read in the
same order. 7839, 7698.
Yeah. Same order. Yes.
Okay.
See, blindly it is taking, reading, or taking the snapshot of these files. That's it.
Okay.
It's a blind operation, I can say.
Yep. Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is about the querying the data from the stage location. Now, so we have just done this part. Okay. We have just used put command and we have loaded the data into the internal stage. From there, we are trying to query the data. And now what we have to do now? We have to run the copy command to load the data into the target table. Okay. So how we are going to do that? So for that, you have to run the copy command like this. Copy into target table. So which target table you wanted to load? I wanted to load it into employee table. Okay. From where? Where do you want to load this data? From this stage location. What is that stage location? This is the one. Okay. Just copy and paste it. What happened? Sorry. 2 times it is pasted. Okay. So copy into target table from stage location. With which file format you wanted to load? I wanted to consider CSV file format. Okay. File underscore format equal to, so CSV underscore file underscore format underscore 14. This is what my file, sorry, underscore, right? So this is what my file format name. Okay, we don't need to use here greater than symbol here. Directly you can use this. Only in the select command you have to use this symbol, greater than symbol. That is indirectly arrow mark here. Okay, in copy command that is not required. So you have to use it like equal to 1. Okay, now this is the command you have to use to load the data into the target table. So before I run this command, I'm just trying to check, do we have any record in the target table or not? So select star from EMP. Okay, just check this one. So I think we have already 15 records in my table. Why? Because I've loaded these records as part of when I was loading the data through web interface, right? Okay, I wanted to truncate this data. So how to truncate the table? So truncate table, my table name is EMP. Okay, just load this or just run this one. See, the table got truncated and I wanted to run this command one more time. So currently we don't have any data in the employee table. Now I'll try to run this command. Okay, just execute this. What happens? End of record list while expected to parse column EMP employee name 2. So row 16 column employee name. If you would like to continue loading with, oh, error is there right now. File. 1 second. Huh? What is the error we have here? Employee name. This is what we are trying
Do we
to
have
do, right?
constraints on the table?
Check the second record.
Second record is not having any issue, right?
Do we have constraints on the table? Like null?
No. We don't have any constraints. 1 second. Let me try to understand the error here. So end of the record reached while expected to parse.
No, like 8 columns, but we are putting 9 columns, right?
Let me check. Employee number, E name, total 8 columns I'm expecting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns are there. So can you compare this one? Employee number, E name, job, manager, hire date, salary, commission, department number. That is correct. Absolutely right. Copy into this table. My table name is EMP from stage location. This is the stage location. That is correct. File format equal to CSV file format. So did we use keep header equal to 1 for this one? Let me try to check this one. So describe file format. What is that file format? This is the one. Check this one. Skip header equal to 1. That means this is also correct only. Field delimiter it is comma only. And record delimiter it is slash n only. That is correct. And what is the other option we need to check here? Number of columns also we need to check here. Okay, let me try to run it one more time. Everything is correct only. End of record reached while expected to parse. End of record means it is the issue with delimiter. I was able to load day before yesterday also. Let me try to use another
from row
step.
16 you don't have commas or anything.
Where?
After row 16, that it is still counting as 17, 18, 19, 20 as records. So if you
just I'll try to remove these spaces. Okay. Let me try to
if you load
save
it
this.
into stage it again, CSV stage.
Let me save it and load it one more time. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll try to replace override this command. How to override this command? File. So put file colon / and complete path. So what is the complete path of this file? I'm just trying to use CSV. This is the path, right? Just copy this entire path. So I think because of the spaces only it is giving the issue. Let me check. Let me confirm that one. So /emp1.csv. This is my file. And where do you want to load this file? I wanted to load this file into this stage. Okay, just copy this entire path. Okay, CSV stage /HR. Okay, and where do you want to put this file? Sorry, you wanted to overwrite this file? Yes. So overwrite equal to true. This is what the command you have to use. Okay, just put semicolon and execute this. File, yeah, this is what I thought of telling you. File is a case sensitive keyword, sorry, actually here. you have to use this file keyword only in the lowercase. So that's what I'm trying to. If you use in uppercase, it will throw error. That's what I was telling you, right? Except some keywords, Snowflake is not a case-sensitive language, except keywords, except few keywords. So one of the keyword is file. Okay, so you have to use this file only in the lowercase. So just execute this one. See, the file got uploaded successfully once again into this stage location. Now I'm trying to run this copy command one more time. Okay, just execute. This time it will try. Yes, it has loaded now. So the issue is because of the spaces. So somehow I might have given that spaces there. Okay, so now the issue is resolved. I was able to load the data into the target table. Okay, now let me check the table whether it has loaded properly or not. Okay, just execute this. See, 15 records got loaded total. Okay, and the columns are mapped properly. So employee number loaded into employee number column only, e-name column loaded into e-name only, job okay, manager okay, I did okay, salary is okay, commission is okay, department is okay. So everything is fine. Okay, now let's say I'm trying to get like in my file I have all 8 columns. Okay, file is having all 8 columns. I wanted to load data into only 3 columns, first 3 columns. I don't want to load all other 5 columns. Then how to load that? How to load that? So generally, how do you write insert command if in case of Oracle or SQL Server or any other traditional databases? If at all, if you want to load only 3 columns, how do you write insert command? Question to you guys.
Insert into and values, or insert into star.
Insert into that columns you mentioned, and after that values, and you select only those columns from table. That's what you do, right?
Yes.
Okay. Here also same activity. Instead of insert, I'm just writing copy command. That's it. Instead of insert, I'm just writing copy command. That's it. Now what I'm trying to do here is I'll just write like this. Okay. What is the first column? EMP number. Okay. What is the second column? E name. Okay. What is the third column? Job. Let's say. Okay. Now I wanted to select only first 3 fields from the stage location, right? Now here, what we have to do? We have to write the select command, right? Select. What is the first column? $1, comma. What is the second column? $2, comma. What is the third column? $3. Okay, space. We have to put this select command in brackets. Okay, just use this one like this. Enough. So this will load the data into the target table properly. From we have to use right here. Sorry. So from this stage location. So if you want to load all the columns, you don't need to mention all these things. Okay, so select is not required. So directly use the stage that will take all the columns and that will load the data into the target table. So if at all if you want to load specific columns, this is the command. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll tell you one point here. So I'll try to run the same command as it is. Same command as it is. Okay, what happens you see here. See here, updated rows are 0. One more time I'm running this command. What is happening? It is not loading any data into the target table. If you want, you can see, still I can see only 15 records. 15 records on. So even though I'm running copy command, why it is not loading the data into the target table? Why it is not loading the data into the target table? Because once you load any file into the target table, the same file you cannot load into the same target table again and again. Once you load any file into the target table, you cannot load that file into the same target table again and again. Okay, now how does Snowflake know that it has already loaded? How does Snowflake know that it is already loaded?
MD5, does it
No.
compare the MD5?
Backend, it maintains metadata. So which file loaded, how many rows parsed, and at what time it has loaded, and who ran that one. That everything is maintained by Snowflake. So before loading any file into the target table, it will try to compare with that metadata. Okay, and it will, if it is already loaded, it will not do any copy operation. It will simply skip that, and it will give us message like 0 rows loaded here. See here, it is giving the same thing here. Updated rows are 0. So if I run the same thing in the web interface, you'll get the exact thing here. What happened? Okay, let me try to change database here, sample DB, and the schema is test schema, and my role is sysadmin. Okay, let me try to use this one and run this copy command. See here, copy executed with 0 files processed. This is what the message it will give. Copy executed, but 0 files processed. It is executed successfully, but none of the file processed here. Okay, so that is okay. Now, backend, where they are maintaining, how they are maintaining, they did not give us. But if at all, if you want to know whether it has loaded or not, okay, where it is tracking, we have one view actually. What did I tell you? Like, what does this information schema holds?
Metadata.
So what is the use of this information schema? For every database, you'll get information schema, right? You don't need to create it. By default, you'll get information schema, information and public schemas. So what is the use of this information schema? It maintains metadata of this database. Whatever the object that you're going to create in this database, information schema maintains that metadata of all the objects in the database. Whether it may be a table, or it may be like a view, or it may be a stage, it may be a file format, whatever you create in this database, that maintains the metadata of that particular object. Okay, so since you have loaded this data into the target table, that one also maintained by the information schema. Okay, so we have one view actually in the information schema. Okay, can you tell me which where can we see whether this file is loaded or not? In which view we can see that? Can you guess it? Here.
Is it load history?
So I wanted to know whether this file is processed or not. This file is loaded or not. So where can we see this? Out of all these views, the view is in front of you only.
Load history.
File format will give us only the list of file formats. Okay, and the correct answer is somebody told load history. Okay, so this is the view that maintains or that tracks whether that particular file loaded or not. Okay, let me try to query this one and show you. So how many files processed as of now? Okay, this is not metadata, sir. This is not metadata that I was talking some time back. So this is for our purpose, for user level purpose, we are trying to see here. But Snowflake maintains metadata in some other place, not here. That metadata is different. This one is different. So this one to check whether the file is processed or not. Just for our understanding. Okay, the metadata I was talking about Snowflake, that is different. Okay, so select star from. So this view. So right click here, and you can see one option called copy advanced info. That means it will try to copy along with the database name and schema name. That means it will try to copy fully qualified name. So copy advanced info and paste it here. See here, sample db dot information schema dot load history. This is the view actually. So fully qualified name we got here. So just query this. What happens you see. See, read results metadata. So it is trying to get the metadata. See how many processed as of now. So into this table, employee1.csv.gz, which is there in the HR file, and normal emp1.csv also I have loaded through web interface UI. It is clearly giving, you see here, UI. Through web interface I have loaded one file, and through normal copy command I have loaded one file. Into which table? To employee table. Okay. The file is in the same location, we cannot load it. Let's say what I'll do is, so can I load like this? Let's say I'm trying to do like this, list at the .csv stage. Can I load this file? Can I load this file? Can I use this stage location here? And can I load this data into the target table? Is it possible? At the rate is missing here. Just execute this. Yeah. So CSV stage, inside that one HR, my subfolder, and emp1.csv.gz. Can I load this?
Yes.
Yes, I can load this. Why? Because this employee file is there in the some other location, right? Some other subfolder, right? See, while loading the data, how it is registering here. So along with the like folder and subfolder, it is trying to it is trying to save, right? See, in the stage, whatever the file is there in the HR subfolder, if you load only that file, we cannot like you cannot load the same file again into the same target table. Same file again you can load into the other target table. If I create one more new target table, emp_target, you can load this file again into the employee_target. You cannot load the same file again, same target table. That's it. Okay. Same target table you cannot load, but other target table you can load it. Other other subfolder, if you have in the same with the same file name, you can load it still. I can load this data now. So just execute this one and see whether it is loading or not. See, 18 rows got loaded here. 18 rows. Updated rows are 18. Okay, let me just check here by checking the table. See total how many records you're expecting. Okay, so the second file is having actually some null records here. So that is the reason why it is trying to give 18 records total. Still it is trying to, we have seen, right? Some spaces we have seen, right, in the employee1.csv.gz. So that is what also it is trying to load. So that is the reason why it was giving 18 records total. Now see, for the second time I have loaded, it is not loading this manager, height, date, salary, commission, department. It is trying to take only first 3 columns. See, this is the. See, last 3 columns are showing null, 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 null. Okay, you got it? What I'm trying to say. See, the conclusion point is once the file is processed, you cannot load the same file into the same target table more than once. You cannot load it more than once. You can load the same file into other target table if you want. Okay, so we have workaround for this one. Okay, but still I wanted to load the same file into the same target table. So do we have any alternative for this one? Do we have any workaround for this one? Yes. So what we have to do is at the end, we have to use force equal to true option. Force equal to true. So this is the property we need to give at the end in the copy command if you want to load the data forcefully into the same target table. Okay, now if I run this command one more time, what happens here? Again, 18 rows got loaded. So total records you can expect 15 plus 18 plus 18. How many records you're expecting? What is the number? 15 plus 18 plus 18.
51.
Come on, guys. I'm poor in maths. Total 51 records. See, 51 records are there. See, what did I use here? I used force equal to true option. Okay, now I have loaded this data successfully into my target table I've loaded this file successfully into my target table. Do I really maintain this file into the stage location? Still, do I need to maintain that? Not required, right? I've already processed this file into my target table. So do I really need to maintain this file again into the same stage location? No. Why I should maintain again this file? I can delete from there, right? So what you want to do here is,
Sure.
yeah.
We had an error like when it was processing the employee one file, right? Like it was saying that it doesn't have the columns.
Yes.
When we not in the subfolder, but under the HR EMP1.
Yes.
But how does it got all the nulls in when we use the same CSV format for under the subdirectory?
It happens sometimes. we cannot say that
because it doesn't have the delimiter, and it was saying
yes.
I don't see any delimiter after 16th record.
Yes.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes.
Okay. And one more question
anyway,
here is
generally we don't maintain spaces, right? So somehow I've given that spaces. I don't know. When did I give that? Generally in real-time file, you will not be having any these things, right? But still we have an option, workaround for this one, how we can load and how we can avoid that one. I'll tell you that one maybe tomorrow, maybe on Monday.
And one more question. So when we are loading it from the UI, it didn't check whether that particular file has been loaded or not. But when we are loading it from the stage, it is checking whether that particular stage data has been loaded or not. Why it is that?
Sorry, can you come again? I didn't get your question.
No, we loaded from the UI. We loaded the same file again multiple times.
Yeah.
But when we are loading it from the internal stage, it is not letting us. It was not letting us until we put it like command force is equal to true.
No, when you use force equal to true option, it will try to bypass that metadata. That's it. That is what happening. Okay. It will simply bypass. See, before loading this file into the target table, it will go and check the metadata. 1 second, guys, please. Yeah, sorry. So what I was saying is, before loading this file into the target table, it will go and check, it will go and validate your metadata. So if this file is there against to the target table, it will try to simply skip that. So if it is not processed, it will try to load it. When you use force command, what will happen, it will try to bypass that metadata checking. And it will blindly load that data into the same target table without checking that metadata.
Yes, but when we load it from the web UI, it doesn't even check whether the data has been loaded or not, correct?
Through web interface, huh?
Yes. Or else for the web interface, always force is equal to true. That should be the thing.
Okay, somewhere I think we have copy pasted that command, right? Couple of days back. Let me check that. Yeah, this is the command, right? So we have seen. See, every time what happens, it will try to randomly take this stage location actually, this number. Okay, so because of that, it will try to load the data as it is into the target table. It will not check for that metadata. See, every time it is giving new number means what happens? Then it will try to, it will consider as a new stage only, right?
Yes.
That is the reason it will not check those things. It's a random number. It will try to generate on the fly.
Okay, or is it with the user?
Sorry?
Is it with the user limited or it's a random number?
It's a random number.
Okay, it's nothing to do with the user who logged in
Yes.
and from which role is logged in. And
yes. However, we never ever load the data through a web interface.
yes, correct.
We never ever do that. Okay, so don't worry about this one, this part. We don't even care about this through web interface. Okay,
And one
so
more
we have to
question.
use always copy command to load the data into the target table. Then only
And
we will
one
get
more
the
quick question.
buffer.
Sure.
Yeah.
So do we after copy into from select command, does the commands like file format and the next force equals to true, those are all should be in, I mean, like, is there any particular order? Or let's say suppose
No,
after
no.
select command, if I put it like force equals to true and then file
I can
format
put,
equals to, yeah.
yeah, you can use it like anyway. We don't have any specific order there. So I'll tell you what are the different properties we have, what different properties we can use in the copy command. I'll show you that one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, see, on the fly, I'm just writing here force equal to true and purge equal to true and all those things. But you have to know what are all the different options we have in the copy command, right?
Yes.
So at least if you know that whenever you get the requirement, right, you can use them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll show you that one. No worries. Okay, so for now, you guys have to understand force equal to true option. So this will bypass the metadata and this will load the data blindly into the target table. That is what I wanted to convey. Okay, now, so do I really maintain the same file again in the stage location? No, I don't want to maintain once it is processed. So for that, what I'm trying to do is at the end, purge equal to true. That is the option, that is the property you have to use. Purge equal to true. Okay, so with this command, this will try to delete this file in the backend stage location once it is processed successfully. Okay, just execute this command. So currently I can able to see that file. I'm trying to see here ls@csv stage. I can see this hr my subfolder employee1.csv.gz. Okay, once I run this copy command, I will not be able to see this file. Okay, just check that. So I'm just running this copy command one more time. See, again 18 rows got loaded here. And if I go and check the list command, see that file is gone. That means once it is successfully processed, the file will be deleted from the stage location. Okay, with the help of this command. Purge equal to true. Okay, got it? Yeah. So what are all the different options we have in the copy command? So how we can make use of them? Okay, so that is what we have to understand in the documentation. Okay, so I'm just opening here documentation. I think somewhere it is open. Yeah, it is open here, and I'm just searching here a copy into table. What happened? It is not here. Okay, copy into table. Yeah, this is the one I was searching about. Okay, copy into table. This is the syntax you have to use here. So this is what we have used, right? Copy into your namespace means your database name, dot schema name, dot table name. Okay, copy into target table from your internal stage. That is what I have used, right? Internal stage. And file equal, I did not use this one. Pattern also I did not use. And file format equal to format name equal to, you can use directly that format name, or you can use file format. You can mention the file format name also without using this format name, or you can use file format name also additionally. Okay, so or instead of mentioning this file format, you can directly mention the properties of the file format directly here. So I'll show you that one also in some time. Okay, so this is one option. And here you can see here copy options. Once you mention all those things, you have to see what are the copy options we have. Okay, I'm just searching these copy options, what we have here. So just come down. Yeah, these are all the copy options we have. So this is what I have used in the copy command. Purge equal to true or false and force equal to true or false. These two I have used. Okay, so like that, depending on the requirement, based on the requirement, you have to use all other things. Okay, let me try to explain each and every one. Okay, so first one is on error. Sometimes your file may be having malformed records. That means error records. In that case, your file will not be processed properly. And you're not supposed to load that malformed records into your table. If you don't want to load that one, then you have to use this option on error. We'll see in the next class this one about this. Practically, we'll try to do it. Okay, so if your file is having any error record, the copy command will not process that records. Okay, or if at all, if you want to skip that file, if you don't want to process any of the record from the file, then you can use skip file or skip file underscore some number, skip file underscore some percentage. This is the threshold value actually. You can allow up to 5 errors. You can allow up to 10 errors. You can allow 100 errors. Like that, we can define some threshold value here. So only if it is crossing the threshold value, you have to skip that file. The same thing we can represent in percentage also. Or if you don't want to process that, if you want to throw error on top of it, you can use abort statement. So by default, you will get abort statement. By default, on error equal to abort statement is there. So if you don't want to use that one, then you can use all these options. Okay. Next, size limit. You can see this one in the unloading part that we'll see later.
Can you repeat the
data unloading part? Sorry.
Can you please repeat the on error part again?
Okay. So if at all, if you're having any error record in your file, if you don't want to process that error record, or if you want to process only good records and if you want to skip the bad records, or if you don't want to process that file at all, then you can use this option on error equal to continue or skip file underscore number or skip file underscore some percentage number percentage. This is nothing but a threshold value. That means you are allowing some errors up to some extent. Let's say 5% of the errors I can allow in the file. So if you see more than 5% of the errors in the file, then you can skip that file. If it is below this threshold value, you can process that file. So like that, you can have some options here. We will see this one practically, how we can implement this. I'll show you that one later in the next class. Okay, next, the size limit. This is useful while unloading the data. This we will see it later, not while loading the data. Same copy command we will use in unloading part as well, data unloading part as well. Okay, so we can use this same option, size limit option in the unload. We have to use this size limit option only in the unloading part. Okay, and next one is purge equal to true or false. You know already what is the meaning of this. By default, it is false only. Okay, so if you want to make it true, right, purge equal to true, you have to use at the end of the copy command. Okay, next, return failed only. If you want to process only the failed files, the files which are having error records, then you have to use return failed only option. If you want to process only failed files, let's say you're not using purge equal to true option. That means your stage maintains processed files and non-processed files as well. Okay, so files which are having some error record, so that one also it will try to maintain. But if you want to load only the failed files, then you have to use this option. Okay, and the next one, match by column name. This is very important sometimes. Your table and your file. Okay, you wanted to match the column names. Okay, my file is having first column, let's say employee number. Okay, my table is also having same thing, like employee number only. Where is that? Okay, star I have to use, right? Okay, let's say my table is also having same thing. It is taking this much. My table is also having employee number. What happens in the backend? It will try to match these columns. Okay, whether first column is same or not in the file and table, whether second column is same or not. It will try to validate that things as well. Okay, so if at all if you want to validate case sensitive also you can use. Let's say your table is having lowercase, column names are lowercase, but your file is having uppercase. It will try to throw error simply. Okay, if you don't want to use case sensitive, then you can use case insensitive as well. Okay, so if you don't want to match the column names and all, then you can use none. So by default, I think it is having none. Okay, Control F, match by column. 1 second, let me check that. Where is that match by column name? Yeah, this is the one. So by default value for this one is none. Yes, it will not look for any the column names. Column names are matching or not, it will not check. By default option is none. If you want to make it true, or I mean, if you want to make it like other options like case sensitive, case insensitive, then you can use that one. No problem. Okay. Where is that? Where are we discussing about that? Yeah, this is the one. Okay, match by column. Next up, enforce length. Okay, let's say in employee table, I'm trying to maintain address column, address field as well. Okay, so address field, the length of the column is only 20 characters. So that means it will allow only 20 characters from the source. Am I correct? Am I correct? So it will allow only 20 characters. Let's say I'm trying to take like this. So I've created employee table. While creating that table for column names, I'm clearly mentioning it will allow only 4 digits. It has to be only 4 digits. It should be less than 4 digits on. It will not allow more than 4 digits. Okay, so varchar also I'm trying to mention only 10 characters it will allow. Let's say for address column, I'm trying to maintain for 20 characters. From source, you're getting 25 characters. Will it load or not? From source, from the file, you're getting 25 characters. But in the table, you have mentioned clearly it has only 20 characters. Will it allow or will it will not allow? What happens in the traditional databases? Will it allow or it will not allow?
It will not allow.
Hmm?
It will not allow.
It will not allow.
It will trim the record.
I don't know how many of you worked on Oracle. In Oracle, if you are getting more than let's say you're defined 20 characters, but you're getting 25 characters, it will simply throw the error in the Oracle. Similarly, here also it will try to throw error, but if you use this option, what is that option? If you use enforce length option, then what happens? Last 5 characters will be removed and only first 20 characters, whatever are there, then it will try to only load the 20 characters into the address field. That means you're adjusting, you're trimming that last 5 characters from there. So you can achieve that functionality with the help of enforce length and truncate columns. Both are same actually, but with the reverse functionality. Both are same. Okay. And force equal to true option we have already seen. Okay. If at all, if you're let's say if what is that? I can say if you want to load the same file again and again into the same target table forcefully, then you have to use this force equal to true option. By default, it is false. Same file, it will not look for the metadata. It will simply bypass that metadata and it will blindly load the data into the target table. Okay, and the last one is load uncertain files. Uncertain files are nothing but, okay, you have loaded one file into the stage location, okay, and you have loaded this file. Okay, one more point I forgot to mention here. So I was telling you cannot load the same file again and again into the same target table, right? How many days Snowflake maintains that metadata in the backend? 64 days actually. 64 days. After 64 days, if you want to load the same file into the same target table, you can load it. That is possible. That is possible. So the metadata will be maintained up to 64 days. After 64 days, you can load it. So the uncertain files are nothing but you have loaded those files into the stage location and you did not process them. After 64 days, those files are called uncertain files. You have loaded into stage location, but you did not process them. Okay, it will wait for 64 days. After 64 days, see, I told you, right, it will try to maintain metadata in the backend. So after 64 days, Snowflake will mark them as uncertain files. If you want to load only uncertain files, then you have to use this option in the copy command. Got it? Yeah, you're asking something?
Can we make changes to the metadata?
No. No, that is not possible. You cannot even see that metadata. I like tried like anyway for seeing that metadata. I did not get any option to see that.
No, the load history. In the load history,
load history is different. That is what I was saying. Load history is different. Metadata is different.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. Load history is different. Metadata is different. Load history view is useful to know whether file is processed for our understanding. But backend Snowflake will not use that view to check that metadata. That is different. It uses different mechanism to see that metadata. That's what I was saying. Load history is different and the metadata is different. Okay. Yeah. So these are all the copy options you have to understand. See, whether you're using it or you're not using it doesn't matter, but you have to understand these things very carefully. And whenever you get the requirement, you have to like recollect these things. And okay, and you have to think which one is suitable for my requirement, which option I have to use to achieve this requirement. So based on that, you have to use these things. Okay, so for every query, you try to refer this documentation before you before you understand or before you do any activity. Just check how many options are there, how many properties are there, what properties are there for that particular command. Okay, even for the put command also I told you right yesterday, we have many options in the put command. Okay, I'm just searching here put command. We have seen only certain part here. Let me show you put command. See, we have used only this part yesterday. Put file :/ and your path to the file name internal. That's it. Only this part we have used. But if you don't refer the documentation, if you don't understand these properties, right, then you will not, you cannot achieve your requirements. You cannot get your requirements properly. And if somebody asks you, I don't want to compress my file in stage location, then if you don't know, if you don't refer this one, right, you cannot get it. So you can actually load the files directly into the stage location without compressing. By default, it will try to compress, right? But without compression also, we can load it into stage location. But the recommendation is you try to compress it so that you can save some space and you can your storage charges are less, I can say, if you compress it. If you don't, if the situation is recommending not to compress, of course, then you can use this option. Okay, so that is what I was saying. So you have to understand all these properties, whether you're using it or you're not using it. Any question here in the copy command? Yeah, that's it, guys, for today. Yeah, so don't leave the meeting. Hold on for a minute.